Hello, hello. That was take 4 or 3?
5.
5? That was not 5.
It was definitely 4 or 5.
Okay. Well, we suck then. Hi, welcome back. This is episode 17 of Kinda Unamused.
Woo-woo.
I'm here with Heaven again. Heaven's gonna be a part of the majority of these next couple of episodes just because we live together. It's fun that way. So today we just have a couple things in the entertainment world that we would like to talk about.
The first thing we want to talk about is the new season of The Circle.
Okay, I was like, where are you going? I don't know what we're talking about first. Yeah. The Circle.
Well, she's looking up the cast. We are just gonna give a rundown of the characters we like and don't like.
Yeah, I figured we can just talk about it, just in general, and then at the end we'll talk about our prediction of who we think's gonna win, because the finale is coming out on Wednesday. Alrighty. So, if you don't know what The Circle is, it is
It's like a social media game show type of vibe. Like you make like a profile and then you go in and talk to these other people, but they don't actually ever see your face, and it's just like chatting, and the point of it is to, be the most popular and remain in the game till the end and then get voted number 1, and then you win $100,000.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. They don't see each other up until the finale, where I think it's 5 people. It starts off with 5 people and it ends with 5 people, and there's like 3 to 4 people that come in the middle, and then you vote people out every episode-ish, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of, the way they do it is kind of not all over the place, because there is a pattern, but like it also feels,
and it's a little different each season too. There's usually the first rating, it's influencers and they get to pick who gets blocked, and then the next one is it's whoever gets rated last just gets blocked. Or there was one in one season where it was like this virus that spread, and whoever didn't get the virus got blocked. Love you, Alyssa.
Alyssa's the one that Heaven talks about the most.
I'm in love with her. Okay, she has a crush on me back because she was liking my Instagram stories of her for a hot minute. But we're going to talk about this season, the cast, and who we like and don't like, and then who we think's going to win. We have the list pulled up, and I guess we're just going to start with where the list starts.
The first one, his name is Antonio Hayes.
But he catfishes as his friend, Tiara, who is a makeup influencer.
He came in the third wave of The Circle. We can talk about that in a little bit, because we have opinions about this third wave of people. But he's been in it for a couple episodes, I guess, 2-3 episodes, probably. I'm sorry, Antonio, but I don't like him.
I have really little to no opinion about this person, other than the fact that they low-key consistently are trying to stir up drama, and they just want to know the drama. They're not really that into the game itself. They just want to know the drama, if that makes sense. They're not really playing the game.
Well, I think that's he thinks he's playing the game by talking about drama, but in reality that's all he does, and it's not strategic, in my opinion. People just find it annoying, especially this wave of people.
And I also think that it's not fair that, because this person is just in it for getting the drama, they're not really seen as that much of a threat. So they're kind of just coasting through, and potentially are going to make it to the finale, which we don't know yet, but they are potentially going to make it to the finale with doing virtually nothing and having virtually no connections.
Yeah, so very just indifferent to him. I just hope that he doesn't make it to the final, because I just don't think he's done enough to get to the final. Next is Deb Levy, who is catfishing as Rachel, which is one of her coworkers' best friends, apparently.
I have a little bit of mixed feelings about her. I do think she's a genuine person, but I think she plays with her heart too much and doesn't play with her head enough. And I think that is part of what's it helps her game to a degree, but it also doesn't. But I think she's hilarious. I think she's really funny.
I like her she's probably one of my top favorites just because I don't know. I think she's funny. She is definitely a little weird, but she's actually done a lot better than I thought she would do. I didn't think she was gonna make it as far as she did, but as soon as she actually started to have like an attitude and stuff, and not trying to be this like sweet little girl, people started to be intimidated by her, which I did think kind of helped her to a degree.
Yeah, I think it made her a little more popular too because it made her like people want to make connections with her because they felt like she was a threat.
Next is Jadeja, right?
Yeah, Jadeja Edwards. She was one of the original cast and she came in as herself.
She's beautiful.
Very pretty girl.
Very pretty girl.
Very pretty. I really don't have any feelings about her to be honest. Like she could be worse and she also could be better.
Yeah. I kind of feel similar. But I kind of lean more towards the don't like her. Just because one, I don't necessarily like that she plays the sympathy card. She had a really hard childhood and she's definitely made that known. And of course that's a horrible thing and people, that does pull at people's heartstrings, but at the end of the day, I don't think that necessarily makes you popular. Like, that just makes people feel bad for you, and I wouldn't want that. I want to overcome what happened to me in the past, and she just is like, I gotta talk about my past more, make them want to feel bad for me or whatever.
I also feel bad for her, like, partially because of the childhood stuff, but every time she makes, like, a strong alliance, the other people in the game, especially these two specific people, keep becoming influencers, and they block every connection she makes. So it kind of feels like she's getting almost the shit end of the stick, and that makes me feel a little sympathy towards her.
In the beginning, though, I feel like she didn't really do anything. She was just kind of there and was like the girl, quote unquote, girlfriend to one of the guys that we'll talk about in a second. Next is Kevin Fernandez,
aka K Fern, as he calls himself.
He came in as himself. However, he did choose to lie about his occupation, saying that he was a lifeguard, but in reality, he's an alcohol salesman.
This man is the most annoying freaking person on the set. He's constantly trying to start drama. He's so gullible. I think he's 22. So, like, I mean, I guess that fits, a 22-year-old guy. But he backstabs every alliance that he makes, like, genuinely, and he's close to the finale. And he hasn't made a genuine connection. Like, every single person he's made a connection with, he has betrayed them in some sort of instance. And I just don't like him.
Yeah, I think that with him, mainly, he's just very, like... And, obviously we don't know any of these people personally, so we're all just saying this based off of what we've seen in the show and how the show has portrayed them as people. For all we know, they've done plenty of things that would actually make us like them more. But it's TV. Anyway, he's just kind of, like Kevin said, gullible and low-key dumb. He keeps on getting voted to be one of the influencers. Like, he's gotten it like 3 times, and that's solely because of like accident. No one likes him enough. Like, no one likes him, but no one cares about him enough to block him. But they're like, okay, I actually do see him as a threat, but I'm not going to vote him last for some reason because it makes more sense for me to vote him on the top. Because with him, you tell him one thing and he will believe it. So if you say that this girl said this about you, or this person said this about you, he will believe you and just go based off of that. No matter what else, no matter any other conversation he's had in the past, specifically girls can manipulate him pretty easily.
Yeah, and like he had an alliance with one specific person from the very beginning of the show. Like, it's one of his first alliances that he makes. And then one time, this random girl, she came in the second wave of people. Like, he didn't get as much time to make a connection with her as he did with this other guy. Told him one time that this guy was trying to get him blocked when he wasn't, and he believed it and then gunned for this guy.
Honestly, I think he's just there by accident. He's made it that far by accident. Like, no one intended him to make it that far. No one intended him to be an influencer and have most of the control for 3 times in a row. I will say sometimes he does play the game somewhat good-ish. Like, I think he plays it well, like it works out well for him a lot, but I don't think he does it necessarily intentionally. He just does it.
No, he's just and also I hate he wears mismatched Crocs. He wears a bright green Croc and like a navy blue or black Croc. Like, why are you doing that?
Madeline Rusinak, I think that last name is probably wrong, but she
Rusiniak, maybe.
She entered the circle as herself in the like second wave of people. How do you feel about her?
I do not like this girl. This girl literally lies out through her ass. Like, literally will make stuff up. One of the people that got blocked came and saw her because they had like a really strong relationship. So they thought. She actually had gunned for this person to get blocked. And then they came to see her because they thought that they had a great relationship. And then she meets this person, and then, they kind of blame it on this other person they had an alliance with. They're like, oh, I feel like this is this person's fault. And then she's like, yeah. And then she takes what this person says and then twists it and makes it completely about a different person. And so then this person gets blocked for literally not doing anything. Like, he literally did nothing wrong the entire season, and he got blocked. Like, he was genuinely like a decent guy. Like, he really didn't start very much drama at all.
Yeah, for me, I would say out of everyone, she, in my opinion, is the most strategic player. She did come in at the second wave, so she didn't have to go through as many blockings. But when she wants someone out, that person always leaves.
Every single
crazy,
time.
Honestly. Like, she wanted was the first person Andy? No.
The first person that got blocked after her was Andy.
Andy, and then it was
Darian. Mm-hmm. And then it was Garrett.
Right, I forgot about Garrett. Yeah, so
and she wanted all 3 of them out.
3 times she wanted someone out. She talks to everyone for the most part, or people that she finds to be the most influential in that moment, and then kind of manipulates her way. Look at this guy; it's so pretty. She like manipulates everyone to get them to do what she wants. She does make up lies. She honestly, like, she's playing the game and she's playing it well. Not necessarily morally right, but she's technically playing the game correctly.
It just pisses me off so bad because so many like genuine, like all 3 of the people that she got blocked were like genuine nice people. They were funny, they were sweet. Andy was a little dumb, but like, or like ditzy, I guess. Like, didn't really play that strategically, but still was a very genuine person, and she got all of these people blocked. And I get that that's part of the game, but this whole time, everyone knows that Kevin has been very disingenuous and manipulative, and she still takes that boy's side time and time again.
Because she knows that Kevin is
easily manipulated.
So she knows that if he's there, he will gun for her.
Like, because he has a crush on her.
Yeah. Next people are the Scarlotta twins, Jojo and Scarlotta twins, Jojo and Nikki. They came in. They catfished together as one of their, I don't know which one, girlfriends, Gianna. Oh, it's Jojo's girlfriend. Jojo's girlfriend, Gianna. I still don't know which one is which, though.
Yeah, me neither.
They were technically blocked. Spoiler alert. Literally, like, the second first blocking.
Yeah, the very, very first blocking, they got blocked.
But there's this thing in this season called the Disruptor, which you can, like, try to be the disruptor. Like, if you say disruptor first or whatever, you can potentially be the disruptor. They ended up getting it that time, and they
That
were immune
rounds,
to
yeah.
being blocked. So they got like really lucky. Since then, they've been practically the influencer almost every single time.
Alongside Kevin, and I have like mixed feelings about them because I think they're really funny, but the way they've been playing the last couple episodes has been making me upset because the entire game since the very first blocking that they were a part of, they were gunning against Kevin. They did not like this guy. But this guy keeps being influencer with them, so they create this secret alliance and then they're like blocking people that actually like them and actually would have defended them. And it's just frustrating me.
Yeah, well, I think it's partially like they've been doing decently well at trying to stay loyal with the people that they're like in an alliance with, but it's starting to get to that point where like you somewhat have like a relationship at the very least with everyone. So his strongest alliance is Rachel, aka the mom one. Um and then it's Jadeja. But yeah, he does keep on, or they keep on getting rid of Jadeja's allies. So therefore it's like, are you really doing good? But at the same time, people do have to leave.
I think I understand where Jadeja's coming from because Jadeja was on Gianna's side for a while and was like gunning to protect Gianna and then two of Jadeja's allies get blocked and she's like at this point it feels personal because there's so many other people you could have blocked instead.
Yeah, I definitely don't blame Jadeja for going against Gianna now just because of what you just said. But as people, I do like the twins.
They're really funny.
They remind me of what's his face in the first season.
Joey
in the first season. Not as great as Joey, but like still pretty good. It's just that personality, very fun.
Joey told me he loves me.
So we're kind of like
I'm starting to get upset with them, but I do like
still like them. Yeah. Next is Garrett Caillouet.
It looks French. Garrett entered the circle as himself. He went in as like, this like gym influencer, pet dad, super sweet gay guy type of vibe. He is my favorite. He did get blocked.
He got blocked by Gianna and Kevin.
Yeah.
Like very recently in terms of episodes.
He was the most recent blocking that they've shown who got blocked. I'm very sad to see him go and his like, because they get to see someone before they leave. It was just so emotional. I was crying. Like I felt so bad. He's so cute.
He cries like very easily. So his leaving, I was gonna say passing, he did not die. His leaving was very emotional. Whenever he did talk to Rachel, that's who he saw whenever he left. They bonded in the circle over an unfortunate, it was with him, an unfortunate passing. Or no, situation. No, that was
she lost her oldest son, I think.
And he's lonely.
And he lives in Dubai by himself.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. They just bonded somewhat, kind of, over the circle, and then so whenever he came to kind of like confront her because she said that she had his back, and then next thing you know, he was blocked. So he was like, "Excuse me, little ma'am," and then obviously catfish, and was like, then he was still like, "Who are you?"
And also one thing about back to the like influencers, one thing is that they're like they always conveniently block the person who's rated last, and they're saying it's based on strategy, which is making everyone else upset because the best strategy would be to block the other people that are at the top. So it's like you're blocking people who clearly aren't a threat to you. And a lot of the reason that Garrett was ranked last was because there was a campaign against him just because Madeline wanted him gone. Madeline started the campaign against Andy, and she had an alliance with him, and she lied to him and said,
we haven't even gone to Andy yet.
Yeah. So we'll get to that
Yeah.
in a minute. She lied to him.
In terms of Garrett's game, I don't think he was that strong. Like, he was there the second wave. He hasn't been there the entirety of the season. But his strategy, I guess, was to stay like in the middle ground, not make too much, noise or whatever. But I think ultimately that's kind of what bit him in the butt, because I think we saw his character. I don't think they saw his character enough. And whenever he did speak up,
it was like already too late at that point.
Yeah,
because it was in the at-risk chat, wasn't it, when he first started speaking up?
Mm-hmm.
And then because he started getting at Madeline because Madeline was being annoying, and then so they were like, so he started standing up for himself and for other people, and it was just too late because the influencers were already in the hangout arguing. I will say one thing I did appreciate about Kevin was trying to keep Garrett. Kevin didn't want to get rid of Garrett. He wanted to get rid of Jadeja.
But Gianna wouldn't let that happen. So next is Darian Holtz. He came to the circle as himself, and he was one of the OGs. He came in the beginning. However, he was blocked by Gianna and Kevin again.
What is unfortunate about his blocking, I do like him. He's a sweet, funny guy. He didn't really, he kind of played, his main allies, and that was like it. Like, he really stayed there for the most part. But one thing I didn't appreciate was that he was the disruptor the round he got blocked. And the round that he got blocked, the disruptor got to pick the second influencer. And he picked Kevin because he thought Kevin was going to protect him. He was deciding between Kevin and Jadeja, and he was like, I'm going to go with Kevin because he's going to protect me. And then Kevin was like, we need to block Darian.
But Kevin was only feeling that way, saying we need to block Darian because Madeline told Kevin that Darian was saying all this stuff about him and conspiring behind his back. And so Kevin thought that Darian was actually out to get him, so he wanted to get rid of him. But Darian did literally nothing. Like he throughout the season, like he didn't do a whole lot either. I would say he's like kind of in the same realm as Jadeja.
They really only paid attention to each other when they were both in the circle.
Yeah, exactly. His like game is like so, but I mean at the end of the day he did get kicked out, but
he was
under
guy.
false pretenses, honestly.
Yeah.
He did end up visiting Jadeja whenever he got blocked and
gave her a little kiss.
That was the second kiss of the circle.
And the first one was Joey and Miranda in season 1.
Yep. So it was a little awkward to watch both times. He kissed a little funny, but Jadeja's obsessed with him. So happy for her. Happy for him.
I wonder if they'll kiss at the finale.
All right, next is Heather Richardson. She came in the beginning, in the first wave, and she catfished as Andy.
Her friend that I think she's like a tour manager or something for him. But so she catfished as him, and he's like a tattooed, cute musician guy. And she actually had like a text flirt relationship with Madeline when she came in. And Madeline randomly decided, the day of this blocking.
Well, it was okay. So they considered each other circle husband and wife, because they kind of like connected because they're like in the same age range or whatever.
And they both are like tattooed up and emo and whatever.
Yeah. So she was kind of like, she obviously had an alliance with Andy because of that. But then she kind of had that whole thing with Rachel, because they got swapped.
Yeah.
And then they had that game where it was kiss, marry, kill. And Andy made the silly decision to have, I think it was
to marry Kevin.
To marry Kevin.
And kiss Madeline.
And Madeline was like...
But I will say I understand Andy's decision behind Kevin. It was to show appreciation because ultimately Kevin's decision in the previous blocking was between him and this girl Savannah, which we'll get to her. But he ended up protecting Andy. So Andy was trying to show like appreciation for that.
Yeah, I don't think Andy knew what Madeline was like at the time, because if Andy did know, then
he probably wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. So I liked Heather, Andy, whatever. But in terms of actually playing the game very well, kind of lackluster, honestly. He did make decisions that didn't necessarily work in her favor. And obviously she's out. The worst thing about her getting out is that she went to go visit Madeline after.
And Madeline, so Andy comes in and is like, and is like, Kevin's the reason I got blocked. Like, he did this. Like, he broke up the boys' alliance. Like, blah, 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 blah. And is, like, gunning for Kevin. And Madeline's just like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, you were my number one. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I love you. And they were, like, talking, whatever. And then Madeline was the one who started the campaign to rake Andy so low in the first place. Madeline was like, it's good for my gameplay if Andy gets blocked. And because I won't have any other male alliances if I'm still married to Andy. So then she went and had everyone rank him low and was like, I don't know if she actually made up a lie about him, but I feel like she did.
I don't remember. It was too early in the show, but she did. She probably did, honestly. She talked to most people and just told people, like, vote him low, and people just said okay. Whatever she said to the people,
they did. They every
believed.
Time
they believed her, and they did whatever she said, which is honestly surprising. But
and then she had the audacity to be crying after Andy left.
She felt bad afterwards.
I feel like such a bad person. Maybe don't lie about people and you wouldn't feel like a bad person. That's just me, though.
Last but not least is Savannah Miller and her dog
Samson.
She came in as herself in the first wave, like the OGs, but she was the first one that was blocked, and she was definitely betrayed by Kevin. Kevin and Gianna were the influencers at the time. It sounds like they were always the influencers.
Because they were.
Pretty much, yeah. Right?
Was there... I don't think there was ever another influencer.
No. Wasn't Madeline and... No. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Madeline
and Rachel were once.
Yeah. Did they block Andy? Did she block Andy?
No, Andy got blocked because he was ranked the lowest. It was like whoever got rated last got blocked.
Did they even get to block some?
So were they actually influencers?
Well, they got rated as number one, but was that was the season where it was whoever was rated the lowest?
Oh, they were, yes, because they were rated 1 and 2 because they swapped profiles.
Yeah. Okay, so we figured it out. So yeah, she was cutesy, fun. She was in a
very mindful, very demure.
She was in a circle relationship, in quotations, with Kevin for a short period of time. Kevin became the influencer and then voted her out because he gave in to Gianna. Gianna was gunning for her, and he was just like, okay.
The reason Gianna was gunning for Savannah, though, was because in the very first blocking, Savannah and Andy were the influencers, and they chose to block Gianna. But then Gianna didn't get blocked because she was the disruptor.
Yeah, and apparently Savannah didn't say sorry to Gianna, so Gianna was like, okay, bye. Oh, wait. we talked about them for a long time. Now we're going to talk about who we think's gonna win, and if you have anything else to say about any of the characters.
I think Rachel will probably win, and that's kind of my hope as well.
I also hope that Rachel wins, aka Deb wins, just because I think that she's grown the most in the thing, and she's gained popularity as it's gone on. She's gained a voice, and she's done pretty well as maintaining being a catfish. I know some people have their suspicions about her, but it's not like a big topic of conversation.
Not really at all.
Yeah.
Whereas like in other seasons, it's like repetitive that like someone's a catfish. Like in season 4, when the guy catfished as his mom, like once people started to catch on that he was a catfish, like it was constantly
He's
in
catfish.
conversation.
He's catfish. Yeah. So I hope that she wins. I, however, would not be surprised if Gianna wins. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it's like, okay, they have her in quotation marks and Kevin. They did so well, so you think they're gonna win, but at the end of the day, it's gonna end up being someone.
Yeah, I would have to agree. If I could choose any of the cast to win, I would have picked Garrett, but that's just me.
I would say my favorite was probably Garrett. It's in between Garrett and Rachel in this season.
Honestly, before Garrett like started to like show his personality and whatever, like I didn't really have like any feelings towards anyone. Mm-hmm. Like there was just people I didn't like and then people I didn't care about.
Yeah. This season I feel like the personalities, I guess, are just kind of like even. There's no one that's super crazy but even Kevin's not that crazy, he's just dumb.
And he's annoying.
Yeah, but it's not like in past seasons
but it's
where
like
there's people that are like
annoying.
Yeah. Past seasons where people are like diabolical evil or super warm-hearted, super sweet, super, this, that, and the next thing.
I think the last time I felt like, other than like Garrett, because I do really like him, the last time I like really, really, really liked a character in The Circle was, or I guess a cast member, however you want to put it, was in season 5. I really liked a bunch of them. I liked, what was his name, Chance, or his name was either Chase or Chance. I liked him. And I liked, her name was Sammy. She's from the Bronx. She won that season.
I don't remember. I like never remember the past seasons.
They were Circle. She called him her Gubby because he's gay.
Oh,
the short, she's from the Bronx,
right.
Very loud.
I remember her. I was happy that she won.
Me too. She was so cute when she won too. She was like, "Oh my god, really?
What just happened?"
Season 4, Alyssa is still my all-time favorite. I love you forever.
No, I definitely do like this. Season. It's definitely not one of the worst seasons ever. It also
doesn't have a stupid AI in it.
Briefly, if you've seen my past TikToks about The Circle, you know how I feel about the interior decorating. I'm going to talk about this briefly because I don't have that much to say about the season.
One thing I'm going to say about it is Rachel has a tiger on her wall in her room, and I think it slays, and I love it.
I actually don't like it that much. I do think, however, it does fit the theme of the bedroom, which is what the previous season was lacking severely. They did not know what they were doing last season.
Maybe they saw your TikTok.
I hope that they saw my TikTok because it's better. It's not the best it's ever been, but this season is a lot better than it was last season.
It's because they moved buildings. They moved from London to Atlanta.
So was last season.
Last season was bad.
Yeah. Oh, it's because that's what you're saying. Because they're still trying to figure out yeah. I forgot the layouts of the kitchens and stuff. They're all different, and the places seem to be a little bigger and stuff. No excuse though. You have money. We know you do. You can make these places because they do all this random shit all over the walls that is really unnecessary to make a freaking place look good. They are very much so adamant about color. Color is a big theme. However, They do, like, for example, like, okay. Sometimes they do too much color. Sometimes they do too many patterns. I'm thinking about Savannah's room in this season. She had extremely vibrant colors, but then you go to her kitchen cabinets and there was this like gold, like fake color gold decal all over the cabinets. If you know what I'm talking about, you know, and I hope that you know that it is ugly. There are things that I question, like what made these people think this was a good idea? For example, what was his name? Darian's room, in his living room. For the majority of his apartment, I liked it for the most part. However, he has, for some reason, they're like, okay, let's put things like not like a painting, not a wall mural. Let's get ropes. Let's.
I know what you're talking about now.
Let's get ropes. Let's hook these little hooks all on the trim, on the floor and on the ceiling, and then just stretch these ropes in crosses all over the wall. Sorry. They also did that in the hallway. You don't see it as much, and it's not ropes, but it's another thing that's like unnecessary. It's unnecessary. And then because they have this huge rope mural thing, they have all these little like random, I don't even know what to call it, like wall clutter, and it's all smushed together. Nothing is balanced.
Can you tell that she's very passionate about this?
Nothing is balanced. They are better about matching colors with each other, and there isn't as much like crazy neon. Last season, there was a neon yellow apartment. That is a travesty to people's eyes.
Autumn! Aw. I remember now. I did like Autumn, and I think she got blocked.
What?
Isn't that who had the neon yellow apartment? The like hunter girl with like the deer tattoos?
I thought it
And
was
she
a
was, like,
guy.
really country. I think she had an ugly apartment too.
They all had ugly apartments last
I
season.
thought hers was like a neon yellow color.
I think that Deb's room, aka Rachel's room, is the best room in this season. Like the overall apartment, I mean, is the best apartment in this season. Her actual bedroom is like a safari, which is very odd in my opinion. Heaven loves it. I think it's odd.
I think it's so fun.
You know what I hate? You know which room I hate this season? Antonio's room, aka Tiara's room. Why? Tell me why. There is a chevron pattern of wood that goes across in the living room with wood fishes. It looks like my mom's bathroom. That is a bathroom theme. That is not a living room theme.
I'm sure the spit echoed off the mic when you said not.
I hope so. But the worst thing, not just the weird wood chevron fish in the living room, it's his bedroom. I can't even picture exactly what his bedroom looks like, besides the fact there are these colors. There's this thing next to his bed, and then there's this line, I think, dividing two paint colors. And in the middle, low
Is that random
low
painting?
to the ground, in the middle, is a painting that doesn't match. It looks like it's from Target or Hobby Lobby, and they just planted it on the wall as if something needed to be there. Nothing needed to be there. Leave the wall alone.
On a much lighter note, I think it's Madeline. She had like an astrology type room, and it looked really cool.
It's not astrology. That's in the last season.
No, it's like, okay, not astrology, like astronomy. Like it looks like the night sky, and it has like stars and moon.
Yeah, her bedroom. Yeah, it has stars.
You were thinking I was talking about the girl who was actually an astrologist.
Psychic.
Lady. Yeah, and she was weird.
Because
she was talking to a plastic skeleton.
Yeah. In last season, her room, they kind of made it very like spooky with like a bunch of purple and like lights and stuff. I didn't mind that room that much last season. That her Madeline's room is kind of similar to that one, but not as intense, I guess. Another issue that I have, which they kind of did better this season, is that for some reason they do these like big mural random things on the big walls where the couches are in the living room, but then they stop it. They stop whatever this mural thing, whatever it is, like multiple feet away from the door. Yeah. Anyway, I will say, if I had to rate it out of 5 stars, this season would be a 3. Last season would have been a 1.
She hated last season.
Literally, I would sit there and I would just
This is the way she'd look
marinate.
The entire time.
I would marinate in anger. Like, I do feel better about this season, but it still could be better. Like, they just don't know what to do with these random pictures. They get these random paintings from Hobby Lobby and they put it on the wall in a random corner in a random part of the wall when it doesn't need to be there. Also, I will say, Heather, aka Andy's room, that was definitely my favorite room now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh.
It was nice. But I also don't know why they have to have like the main theme in the living room and then make the kitchen not go with the same theme, and I'll add all these stripes and patterns and all this stuff in the kitchen. The kitchen is a part of the living room.
It's like it's an open layout.
It's kind
of like our place. Like the living room and the kitchen are connected.
This is the living room. It's connected. It needs to look cohesive. They don't know what that word means. Okay, I'm sorry. I got passionate about it. Uglies, it's supposed to be like it is. It's not supposed to be. It is a dystopian type vibe, like Hunger Games, like Divergent.
They actually said it was the love child of Hunger Games and Divergent, like in the description somewhere.
Okay, yes. I think it is more like Divergent than it is Hunger Games, but there's a lot less intensity. It's based off of a book series called, I don't know if it's called The Uglies or if it's called The Pretties or something like that. First of all, I think the concept is just strange. It's definitely unique, but it's also like it can only go so far in my opinion, and it's like it's not really that original. Like, okay, the bad people are making this place seem all great and all whatever, like this is the way to live. Everyone thinks this is the best way to live because the other option is bad. Divergent. But the only twist is that once you're in this new way of living, you turn beautiful. But being beautiful comes with being practically brain dead and just like constantly happy. So it's kind of an interesting concept. At the same time, it's also lackluster. Like, everyone that's living that life just sees it as okay. There's barely, like, they tried to make it seem like there's like people there that want to live a different way or think that this way is bad or have questions against the government, but
they didn't do it well.
They didn't do it successfully to where it felt like it was that important. Like the way of living was really that bad. Because I was watching it, I'd be like, honestly, if I could live a life where I'm just happy all the time, I would do that. Like, the whole thing is like, okay, well, they're making everyone pretty with this flower as this like fuel source, but this flower is actually destroying the world. Like, it's destroying the land and food and stuff. So I guess that's important. But at the same time, it's like, I don't care. And there's
clearly nobody cares.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It was a very lackluster type show, and it was I think the issue with me is that, movie, it was too futuristic for me. I like things that, like, whenever it comes to dystopian stuff, it's still heavily rooted in what the world is like now. That goes for, like, obviously there's futuristic things in Hunger Games and in Divergent, but they're more like tools and they're more subtle. But like these people are like there's a bungee jumping suit and they're hoverboarding everywhere and like creating these fake skateboarding ranks out of thin air. Like it kind of disconnects you and doesn't make you feel like you could be a part of it, because it feels like an alien world kind of.
Yeah, I agree. I know it was just boring to me.
Yeah, it was just really boring. I don't have anything against what's her name?
Joey King.
I don't have anything against Joey King, but like she only fits certain characters well, in my opinion. She can't do something serious. Besides, I will say, her version of Gypsy Rose, she did very good in that.
I still haven't watched that. I really need to.
She did very good in that. I like her and Ramona and Beezus. I see her as like a more fun type
so
person.
Cute in that.
Or like she did well in Gypsy Rose too. I don't even know what you would. That was definitely more of a serious show, but
Kissing Booth genuinely ruined her for me. Like I can't see her as anything else other than Elle Evans. It's like it's a plague. I saw this TikTok on the Gypsy Rose thing though. This guy was like, oh my god, Gypsy Rose is right behind me. It was Joey King. Joey King was right behind him.
I mean, she did play Gypsy Rose in the show. He thought
it was the real Gypsy Rose.
Yeah.
Like he thought that the show was actually Gypsy Rose, but no, it was just Joey King.
Overall, I rate the movie a 4 out of 10.
It just didn't stick out to me.
It didn't.
Dance Mom. It's when she does the pyramid. She's like, you were good. I'm waiting for you to be great.
You should have said.
It didn't stick out to me.
If you said if you were good, I'm waiting for you to be great, then I would have understood that. But that other part, no. I wanted to watch it just because I like dystopian stuff. I wanted to give it a chance. I didn't want to not watch it because of her.
I'm also not a fan of the guy. What's his name? Chase Stokes. Not a fan.
The blonde guy. Yeah, he looked insane when he turned pretty.
He literally looked like a snake.
He looked like the thing. Also, whenever they turn pretty, they look like they had a filter on. They probably did have a filter on them, but the whole thing about turning their eyes gold and stuff did make them look like snakes. It just made them look really fake, and he just looked really weird. I also don't think he's the most attractive man alive, so like. Turning him into that was just like
that show is if you know you know.
Little brief life update.
My car's brake light is out. Is that what you're gonna say?
If you've been listening to my podcast for a little bit now, you know that my car hates me. I just spent $110 on getting an oil change and a tire rotation, and then as we're leaving to go back to the apartment, a lady honks at me 5 times.
Like literally like
I was like, what the
And then we look over at her and she's like
I'm like, yeah? And she's like, just so you know, your back brake light is out. Excuse me? I literally just came back from Valvoline. It is literally part of their job to tell me whether or not my lights are out. Did they do that? No. Mind you, they were very nice people. I did like them. It was very chill. I felt the most chill out of Valvoline in my entire life. They didn't flirt with me. What? They didn't flirt with me.
That show was...
They didn't try to talk to me very much. They just did their job. They were relatively not super loud. You know, last time I talked about it, loudness gives me anxiety. They were nice, but they didn't tell me that my brake light was out. And I know that they saw my car. I know that they saw the back light on because I had my brake on. Remember, they told me to have my brake on for like 5 minutes.
and we were in the air when we were rotating the tires.
In the air.
In the air.
Like,
and
they didn't tell me. Like, okay,
like,
are you,
hello?
like,
Are you
what,
done?
why didn't you,
Use your eyes.
did you guys do that so that I would come back and be like, guys, you fix that? They don't even fix lights. They don't even fix lights, I don't think.
No, they would just tell you to go to the dealership.
Yeah.
Which is half the things that they tell you to freaking fix anyway. They're like, we can't fix 18 things are wrong with your car. We can fix 2 of them.
Yeah, you have to
You
go
need
to
to go to the
dealership.
dealership.
Because my car is freaking ancient and it's a Prius and they whatever.
And it's a hybrid, I think.
Yeah, so I have to go to the dealership where only one person, mind you, one person works on hybrids. So I have to wait forever. So, mind you, I also don't have the money. So I'm going to get freaking pulled over. Tomorrow, I bet you, whenever I get out of my class, in the dark, they're going to pull me over because they see that I don't have... I'm going to try and take, like, a back way. Happening. Nope. Besides the fact that Chapel Roan doesn't know how to talk in social media.
And she canceled her festival this weekend, and everybody's mad at her for that, too.
I actually heard people talk about that today in class.
Really? What
saying that she needs social media training.
I think she does need social media training, but I also think that it's unfair to put these expectations on her about canceling concerts and stuff, but never put that same expectation on other older women. Adele canceled an entire tour the week before, a couple years ago, because she was going through mental health problems or whatever, and that should be fine. Like, it's the same thing as, your job expects you to be there and expects you to show up. But if something happens to you, you are supposed to have the right to be like, I can't work today.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people need to have the nuance to understand that celebrities are people too.
Yeah, my teacher, well, he's not my teacher. He just kind of shows up in that class sometimes. He's like the graphic design teacher. He's young. He comes in and talks to a lot of people a lot. And this girl who's not in my class, she was there. Oh. She was not in my class. She actually graduated last year, and she was just hanging out, I guess. And she was talking shit about Chapel, which was annoying to me, but I was just listening.
That would annoy me too, because I've been like, obsessed with Pink Pony Club. Obsessed.
She was just like, I just think she's dumb. Oh. And my teacher was like, because she asked him how he feels about the Chapel Roan stuff that's happening. And she said that she thinks that she needs social media training. He's like, well, I mean, I just don't like that we live in a world where you need social media training. And he was like, I think that we just need to remember that they're humans. And I was like, period. Thank you.
Yeah, I do think that because we are in a world where social media is so prevalent and it's so easy to, say something wrong, you do need to have that social media training if you're going to be, making music and being an influencer in that way. But I don't think it's fair to expect, them to be perfect all the time. And I don't think Chapel really said anything that controversial. No. People are forgetting the nuance as well in the aspect of, she is gay. She is, very open about being gay. She's very open about, being a leftist and being, pro-rights and pro-Palestine and everything. You have to take that into consideration with the fact that she also grew up in a very Republican, far-right conservative type of area. So she's trying to still unlearn these things that she learned. So I think it's fair for her to criticize, people on the left. And I think it's fair for her to criticize people on the right. And I think endorsing and voting are different things. And people need to understand that they are different things. You can endorse someone and end up not voting for them. You can vote for somebody and not endorse them. So I don't think that she needs to endorse Kamala Harris. She doesn't need to endorse anyone. No. Obviously, she's going to vote for Kamala because that is who aligns the most with her viewpoints. But she's not going to endorse someone because there's things that she wants to change. And you shouldn't, as an artist, have to put your whole career and your whole brand behind someone.
I just think that she needs to learn when not appropriate, but when it's just best for her to not say anything for her sake, not even for our sake. Like, I frankly don't care what she says. Like, I still like her. Like, nothing that she said has made me change my opinion about her. I feel the exact same way I did whenever I first started talking about her in this podcast. But at the end of the day, I do think just for her sake and her mental health, she just needs to choose to not say some things sometimes.
Like Maddie's saying, sometimes it's better to say nothing at all. And in a lot of instances in society now, that is the case. Like, even, it was expected. Everybody knew that Taylor Swift was going to come out and endorse Kamala Harris. She endorsed Joe Biden in the last election. She's very openly a Democrat. But even so, like, that we knew that was coming, she still received mass amounts of backlash for it because she's a billionaire. She doesn't understand working class problems, etc., etc.
That's another thing that girl was bringing up. How she, not Taylor Swift, but about Billie Eilish. How she doesn't like Billie for doing that.
For endorsing
Kamala because she's a billionaire and she doesn't know what us normal people go through. She's not in the same tax bracket. Which I do agree to some degree, but at the same time, like, she can endorse people. That doesn't change anything. Like,
and her reasoning for endorsing Kamala, she said explicit. Is this recording? She explicitly said it was about Kamala's vow to protect women's rights and Kamala's vow to protect everyone's rights. Billie Eilish is queer. Billie Eilish is a woman, so she believes that in these things that she deserves to have, these protections, and that normal people deserve to be protected in their right to get married and their right to, have health care and whatever. So, I don't think it's fair to necessarily, just because you have money doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a say. And also, Billie Eilish is a big climate change activist. People seem to forget. She's a big climate change activist, and Republicans don't even believe in climate change. So obviously, she's gonna vote for the side that acknowledges it.
I didn't say this, I think, the past couple of episodes, but if you have a story, or if you want advice, or if you want to just rant, feel free to email me at kindaunamusepod@yahoo.com, or you can DM me at madrosepie on Instagram. Love to talk to you guys. Like an interactive space here. And yeah, so like I said, you can follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, and what's the other one? Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Mad Rose Pie. You can watch the video version of this podcast on my YouTube. I do post the video version every time since episode 5,
I think.
Since episode 5, there's been a video version. You can also follow me on my Pinterest at A Dandelion Days, or Mad Rose Pie is my personal Pinterest, but I have A Dandelion Days as the one with all my artsy fartsy stuff. And then you can follow Heaven at Not So Heavenly on
Instagram and TikTok.
Instagram and TikTok. I will have both of our links down below. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching.
And peace out, y'all.
Bye!